All right, so the lesson is 7.8, parallel and perpendicular lines. So when we're looking here at the parallel lines are lines in the same plane that never intersect. They also have the same slope, but they always have a different y-intercept. If they have the same y-intercept, it's exactly the same equation. It's the exact same line. So they're not parallel, they're the same thing. So in this case, we have the same slope, and when you look at the intercepts, they're different. And these are the different intercepts, y-intercepts. So these two equations are parallel lines. Same slopes, different intercepts. First, a perpendicular line is a line that forms a 90-degree angle where they intersect. So when you look at a perpendicular line, you're looking at a 90-degree angle. One slope is the opposite reciprocal of the other. So this is a little tricky here. You'll notice here these two lines are perpendicular, and here's how I know. You look at your slopes. So now when you look at these two, they are opposites of each other. One's positive, one's negative, and they are reciprocals of each other, 2 and 1/2. So that's what it means by opposite reciprocal. You're going to have one positive and one negative, and then also you have one and the other one's its reciprocal. So these two would be perpendicular, just like these two are parallel. Okay, so now we need to find out if these lines are parallel. Using the slope and the y-intercept, we can determine that. So first we want to get into y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to solve our equation for y, get the y by itself. So we're going to draw a mirror, and we're going to do opposite operations. So we want to get rid of the 3x and then the negative. So 3x is the positive 3x, opposite would be subtracting 3x from both sides of the mirror. This gives me the 0. And here you have negative y equals negative 3x minus 5. Now we need to get rid of this negative because we want just y. And probably the easiest way to do that is just multiply by negative 1. Negative times a negative is a positive y equals negative 1 times negative 3x and negative 1 times negative 5. And so y equals negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. So now we have that one. Let's go ahead and get this one in that same form. Let's first move the x over. Opposite, it's a negative 15, so we add 15 to both sides, 15x, pardon me. This gives me that 0 I was hoping for. 5y equals, here we have 15x plus 10. Now we want to get rid of that 5. It's 5 times y, so the opposite would be division. Here we get y equals 3x plus 2. Now, in order for it to be parallel, the slope has to be the same, and yes it is. And the y-intercepts have to be different, and they are different. So yes, this is a parallel set of parallel lines. Let's try this one. So again, we're going to solve. We still want to know if they're parallel. We want to get the y by itself. Well, the only thing we have to get rid of is the 4. Divide both sides by 4. So over here we get y equals, on this side you just divide each term by that 4. So 12, or negative 12 divided by 4 would be negative 3x plus 16 divided by 4 is 4. This one's already in the correct form, but you'll notice that these two are not the same. This is negative 3 and this is positive 3, so it is not parallel. So are these lines perpendicular? So we're looking at 2y minus x equals 2 and y equals negative 2x plus 4. So again, we want to get into y equals mx plus b form. Solve for y.
We're going to add x to both sides of the mirror. Do it to both sides. This gives me the 0. And we're left to 2y equals x plus 2. Want to get rid of that 2? It's 2 times y, divide. Here we get y equals, either you can write it as x over 2 or 1/2 over 2 plus 1. We're looking for the slope, so it's probably better to write it as the half. Now, in order for them to be perpendicular, this one's already y equals mx plus b. The slope has to be opposite reciprocals. So one has to be positive, one has to be negative, and then the numbers have to be reciprocals. 1/2 and 2 are reciprocals. One's positive, one's negative. So yes, that is perpendicular. All right. So now we need to see if these lines are perpendicular. So again, we want to get into y equals mx plus b. Draw our mirror. It's 4 times y, so the opposite is division. So here we have 1y equals 3 over 4x plus 3. Over here, get the y by itself. So let's go ahead and add 3x to both sides. That gave us the 0 we were hoping for. And we have 4y minus 2 equals 3x. Get rid of that 2. Add 2 to both sides. That gave us the 0 we wanted. And we have 4y equals 3x plus 2. And the last step, when you get rid of the 4, divide by 4. And on this side, we get y equals 3/4 x plus, this would be 1/2 because I can divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Looking at the two slopes, they're identical, so they're actually parallel. They're not perpendicular.